All right, the time is now 6:30, so I would like to call the continuation of yesterday's Board of Finance meeting to order. Keep in mind that we are continuing off the agenda that we had started yesterday, so there are some parts of that agenda that have already been addressed yesterday. We will not be rehashing them out. However, because it's a new day, we'll be calling to order and doing the pledge again. So please stand. I will also note that there will be citizens' participation tonight pertaining to just the discussion that we have going back to item B, which is what we're about to do, to discuss and act upon proposed budget 2019-2020. There is one follow-up topic that we're going to start off with, and I will give our finance director a chance to update us on anything pertaining to that. Again, just kind of giving everyone the heads up as far as I will give the opportunity for citizens participation, but we are not going over yesterday's discussion because we already had that citizen participation. So keep it specific just to what our discussion is this evening and on any updates we made together. So with that said, Mr. Finance Director.
Hello everyone again, it's good to be back. As far as the discrepancy in tax collection rate that was addressed yesterday during our meeting, I just wanted to state today that we have clarified, and the tax collection rate that we had yesterday is going to be the same tax collection rate we had today. The discrepancy has been rectified, and going forward, it is the same proposed budget from yesterday that it is today. We had met with the town tax collector this morning, and all ambiguity between the two numbers have been rectified. So, moving forward, we can continue with the 98.5 tax collection rate for fiscal year 20, and that is based on the collection rate that we have projected and collected thus far as of FY19. So, nothing has changed as of yesterday.
Where was the issue? What happened there?
Methodology and past practices. And I think I'll just keep it at that. Going forward, we may reevaluate how the two discrepancies in calculating and methodology took place, but that's something to be addressed for the next fiscal year. Over the past couple of years, we've done our calculations a specific way, and we're maintaining that this year.
So past practices would be what? What are we going to do next?
Well, we can reevaluate how we calculate the tax collection rate for year-to-date collections. So the number we use versus what we collected. So essentially yesterday, the collection rate for both the tax collector and us was exactly the same. It was what we were dividing it by that gave us a difference in calculation. Any questions? Sorry to bring you here for that again today. But I think it's good that overall we got an additional day to look over the documents and the budget, and everybody can feel more comfortable with the vote today based on the literature we handed out.
So I got one question. I noticed a change on the highway department. The original budget we've been working with up until yesterday, the salaries was only supposed to be $659,772. How come that jumped to $684,772? I see the overtime drop, which I'm not quite sure how you can drop overtime like that from one year to the other, unless you're planning on no snow. But how did, what precipitated that change of $25,000?
That's a typo. That should, wait a minute.
I had the original budget.
Yeah. I have it too. Yeah, that should not be. Now, the original increase on that was the one from yesterday, so that should be 659,772.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Thank you for catching that.
So nothing's changed.
No?
The only thing we have to decide on the education thing here, $600.
Yeah, and I'd like to, I mean, again, not to beat a dead horse, we discussed it yesterday, but I'd just like to reiterate that Chairman DiPietro, I'm sorry, Superintendent DiPietro proposed and pledged to not spend the $618,000 variance that is the difference between the 15.1 million and the 14.5. So I just go back. So I just wanted to let you know that there's no reason to put the burden of uncertainty on the taxpayer with a mill rate increase if we reduce the number from 15.1 to 14.5. We can change the budget throughout the next fiscal year, but we cannot change the mill rate once it's increased throughout the fiscal year.
Right.
So the burden will go on the taxpayer based on the uncertainty of whether or not the governor is going to provide us 15.1 or 14.5.
So you go with that higher number, or?
Yeah, our budget projections are including the 15.1 number. If we pull back to 14.5 million for ECS, the mill rate would jump to 1.1 increase as opposed to 0.5.
Scott? On that one, am I getting it the right way?
Yep.
Okay. So if he decides to give us less, we'll have to come up with that one.
No, we just cut the education budget, and they're prepared to sustain those cuts because they pledged not to spend. So,
Okay,
yeah, it's really,
no way.
yes, the numbers are.
Just make sure you project clearly.
Ron, am I reading this document right, that the proposed mill rate increase, we're officially calling .51, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 0.51 mill rate increase.
there's no other discussion amongst the board members, I'm pretty well positioned to make a motion.
Okay.
I propose that the Board of Finance adopts the proposed budget using the ECS funding number of 15.1 million and a 0.51 mil increase.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to adopt proposed budget 2019-2020 with the education staying at 15 and the 0.51 mil increase. Is there any further discussion on that?
I don't want to discuss it, but I'm just going to further that we should not be spending the $618,000. It should not be included in the budget because it won't be included in our money. So just furthering my objection to the point that we should not be putting that in there. But the motion's made and the motion is accepted. Go ahead.
Okay, very well. Any other discussion? All right. For this, please actually raise your hand, and Dodie, please make sure that you obviously account for everyone's vote. All those in favor of adopting the proposed budget, please raise your hand now. Okay. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Motion carries. Dodie, can you please read us the
5-1.
record? Say it again, Dodie.
5-1.
All right, the only other item we have is citizen participation, so I will open the floor. Yes, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. I asked Mr. Charwood, apologize,
Call me later.
for a copy of the document that you proposed yesterday. It is good. It's actually somewhat accurate. I'm a business owner. I like to do my homework, and I don't like to make decisions without consulting my CPA, bookkeeper. The fear that has happened is I actually asked the governor himself. Now, the document provided was third party, but this one is actually from the governor's office, emailed from Kerry Kelly. I called them this morning in detail about this. The 15.1 is a proposed, is not even proposed, it's 14.5. And that is from the governor's office. The only problem, though, is that ECS, since 2017, is all over the place. They have nothing. They have no idea what the number's going to be. They can't promise anything. The equations changed, and we're in the middle of a 10-year conversion. On top of that, I asked Kevin Chambers, who is the admin of the ECS program, what are we expecting? And the guy basically said, I don't know. They don't have an idea. They are basically hands tied. And I said, how do we change this? I wouldn't say confronted you. I asked you, how do we change things? When I come across opposition, find a way around it. I don't look at a wall, stop, and then just cry. I find a way around it. Point is, I asked, did you know that there's a problem in Plainfield? All of them said no. They don't know that we have a budget issue. I said, so what has other towns done that have budget issues? Weathersfield, Enfield, people that get money show up to Hartford. I would like to, I don't know if this is the venue, but we need to send a delegation to Hartford. I actually asked in detail, what committees, what people do we talk to know that we are suffering here, our mill rate is going to go through the roof, and I'm going to be afraid that Mr. Charwood is going to be more accurate than, I don't know your name, but the interim finance. Point is, they don't know we have a problem. We need to send people there. They've already told us the committees. They said that they're meeting now. We need to send somebody. We need to say that Eastern Connecticut is suffering. I don't care, get in my van, let's go now. Let's knock on some doors. But that's the thing, and I asked them, what happens when those people show up? They listen to them. They don't even know we have a problem. We need to send somebody. Period. End of argument. Mic drop. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Comments? Yes.
Joe Cassett, Plainfield Fight. Last night, the question was asked about the $80,000 that was supposed to contribute to the teachers fund, and the answer was it was squashed in legislation. Well, according to the news tonight on TV, the governor was talking about it today in a meeting, and I believe the same place you get the information for the peak watts, the number you got used from them, that is also that $80,000 is there. So it's all going to be coming from that budget. I don't know what you're looking at, but I'm sure you got the figure from the peak watts. And in there, it lists that number. So.
No, but I think what you're referencing is the various types of grants that we receive from the state and the uncertainty behind what
That
each
part of the
grant
budget.
will, right. I think that what we should have to understand with the ECS grant is that even if government does eliminate the funding or is more accurate to Mr. Charlie's number, we're prepared to sustain the cut. And there would be no damage to the Department of Education's budget.
So we're saying that the school's over budgeted by $600 and something thousand?
No, the schools
If they're able to take that cut, if it comes, I don't understand.
well, there's a minimum budget requirement that the school has to meet.
Yeah?
And,
Okay, so if ECS cuts it, then we don't get hit with that number.
correct.
Okay, other questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, I would now entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay. You're saying you want to make a separate motion for that?
Kat, do we need a motion to send this to the public hearing?
No, that's already set by the charter. That's already set. So you made the motion tonight to accept it, so then it automatically goes to
Those who, again, might not have heard from last night's meeting, the public hearing is scheduled for May 6th. So the way it works now is, even though we don't have to make a motion for it, the approved budget proposal will go to the town clerk's office. There will be a posting of the public hearing coming up before May 6th, of course, in advance, and that'll be the next step in the process.
Tom?
Yeah.
Do we have to make a motion on the $551,000 that we approved last night to send that to referendum?
Kathy, yeah, that's a good point, Scott. I did want to ask you is, so we approved that. So now, do we need to take an additional step with that?
approved to go to referendum.
Okay. Here's the thing, that's not part of our equation.
But I don't think we have to do it tonight. I'm just
Okay.
sure. I think it has to be done in another meeting, and it has to be done before the end of the year.
Okay, so yeah, we can do it, but we don't necessarily have to do it right
Gotta get
now.
on another agenda as well.
Okay.
This is a continuation that was
Yeah.
on the agenda last night.
No, but the motion that was accepted specifically noted that there was no other item besides the fee that was being addressed. Specifically noted that. All right, so we had a motion on the floor for adjournment. Was there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.